Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So last year I started a tradition of reviewing my top 10 favourite stones for the year. Now some of these I didn't cut this year, I think they've actually lingered from the previous year, but most of them I have cut, just looking around. Pretty much all of them I've cut at some point in the last year or so. This is number 10. This was from a parcel from Roy Steverwald, and I put this at number 10 because I still use this to this day to test lighting. You can see here on certain angles it's a very good green-blue test, but then in others it just gets taken over by red. So it's an incredibly good stone. I thought about cutting the back and going for a second bar here. All of this was done on a couple videos, so I'll try to link those if I can. But I've left it like it is because it is such a handy stone to just chuck in the pocket and test some lighting with. So that's number 10. Number 9, my fishy boulder. So I still love this stone. It made me think of making fish from every opal across the world. So I've got to get back onto that. I haven't made a lot of fish, but I've got a whole heap of fish designs that I've saved on a folder. So this is my little tetra-like fish. And yeah, as you can see, it's a nice little boulder stone. Cut that on the channel too, so there is a video. And yeah, if you're interested, I'm sure you'll be able to type fish into my channel videos and this one will pop up. Now number 7, I can't grip with the gloves on, so we're gonna have to deal with fingerprints. It's a little Dentalium piece. So you can see there, tiny little hole in the tip. A nice little opal fossil. And this one was from Julian Stavrius. I found this in one of the rough parcels and yeah, polished up and of course has some beautiful colour, as much of this material does when it's not completely sand shot. A little bit of sand on the back still, but you know what? One face of it has to be lying down, so we don't need to see that too much. Beautiful little piece. That is number 8. Number 7, back to wearing gloves, because this is the first piece of Ethiopian opal that I managed to cut and dry without it absolutely obliterating itself and cracking to death. So an untreated little opal that I cut on the channel, and I really have to wear gloves because, and I will show this in a later video, this little guy sticks to the sweat on my fingers really well. We're definitely wearing gloves for this one. So yeah, this was the first one I cut and let dry and it didn't destroy itself and it has beautiful colours even on the bottom face there. Now number 6, another Nick Hoops Boulder Opal that I am going to set in a bezel set ring at some point. You can see here, definitely Boulder Opal from the Ironstone. And it's got a weird little pattern, and this one grew on me after I cut it. At the time of cutting it, I wasn't that intrigued. And now that I think I can set it in a ring, it's going to be an incredible piece, and I reckon, wrapped in silver, it's going to look pretty cool. Another Nick Hoops Boulder Opal, of course. Always going to feature Boulder Opal in my top 10, being my favourite stone. Number 5. This was the stone that I cut for the Makers Challenge this year. A beautiful Honeycomb Ethiopian. First time I've cut such a massive piece with a lot of honeycomb, so beautiful reds up one end, bit more scattered greens on the other, and then a nice little rolling flash of red across the back. Learned a lot cutting this stone, and I'll definitely be learning more as we go along, because Ethiopian Opal's not my forte, and I don't cut it much. I'm typically an Australian opal kind of guy, but the material is interesting and I'm all things opal, so I'm definitely willing to give more Ethiopian opal a crack. Back to a little specimen jar for this one. Number 4, this Dendritic Opal. Nice little cave looking side here, and then my favourite side, little depressed gnome walking into the cave. Probably one of the 7 dwarves or something. But I thought this one was it's definitely my favourite picture stone. And even better, it costs very little. So I'm just glad I found it online, and yeah, just love the picture that it has and the story that it could possibly tell if your imagination is wild enough. Top 3, number 3, this beautiful lightning ridge stone, Lou sent it over, Bay State Opals over in the US, and this came out of a rough parcel he bought from Black Opal Direct. A beautiful little stone. It was just a very uneven surface, as you can see from this kind of shot here. You can see how much undulating there is on the face of this stone, and it took a long time to carve, and thankfully Lou said that I can keep it in the collection, and so in the collection it'll stay for now. And maybe I'll be able to do a little bit more on it. It could actually do with a little bit more work. I'm still thinking about this little sand spot over here, but I don't want to slice it. And yeah, this was carved on a 3-part series, I think, on the channel. So if you're interested in how this one started, definitely check those out. It was quite a lot of carving in the process for this one, and you'll understand why it looks the way it does. Number 2, this one blew my mind when I saw it. So this is a Pearl Opal. So you can see here, rough back of a little shell, and inside here, Steve. So that's Steve's little initials there. Definitely check out this video and links to his eBay if he's still got some of these up there. Steve found a way a while back to embed an opal. Well, not even embed. He grows the pearl. Actually, he doesn't even grow it. He naturally lets a pearl grow around an opal, which he just seeds into the shell while it's still growing. An incredible feat of nature. I mean, opal in general is a great feat of nature, but the fact that he's combined this with something else, another natural process in the formation of pearl, it's absolutely amazing. And then basically lets the pearl grow over the entire surface and then polishes back where the face of the opal sits and gets it looking like this. And then you can cut this down further and make a pendant or a ring out of it. It's absolutely incredible material. I haven't done anything with this one. This is just how he sent it, just raw. And yeah, it still confuses me just looking at it to this day. Definitely worth checking out. It's not as expensive as you think, so for a couple $100 you can get yourself your own little Pearl Opal and spend days looking at it. So check that out. Video should be linked in the description. And then the grand finale, number 1. Belemnite Opal, sent over by Julian. I carved and polished it up. I think this is spread across multiple videos as well, so I'll add some of those in the description. One of my favourite stones to this day in terms of cutting and also in terms of the result. It's just an absolute killer stone. I mean, Fossil Opal is my favourite. Belemnites are also right up there. And this one is just an absolute killer. The back is not as great as the front, but even the back, like a pinfire red. And then all sorts of patterns on the front. The longer you look at it under a loop, the more patterns you'll find. So there's a little tube end of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't go to the point, which is a little bit disappointing, but to just have a nice, strong cylinder of this is just incredible. I can't remember if it was in last year's count. I think I cut it this year, so this one will be hard to dislodge as number 1 next year, but you never know. Another year of carving and could come across something just as spectacular, if not better. So we'll see who can hold the crown. But this year, Julian Stavrius has got it easily with this stone. Absolutely incredible, and that is my top 10. Hopefully a brand new top 10 next year. We'll just have to wait and see, and I'll get to carving or we'll never discover anything else. So let me get back to it.